In regard to collaboration in policing, I think it's actually one of the most important things that we have to do to get not only our message across, but to get all the partnerships and to get the enforcement, to get the assistance that is needed out into the community. We need to have all our community agencies on board. Those agencies would be anywhere from faith-based communities, park and recreation. A lot of times we'll work with mental health, different mental health organizations too within the community, just to work through all the issues that we face in policing. A good example of us working with faith-based community is, I know I had personally investigated a youth sex trafficking ring within our city a number of years ago. And while working through that, one of our pastors from a local church that we had, she had also been working on youth homelessness. And because of that, what we had found with the sex trafficking ring is that some of our youth that were forced into the prostitution, it was given to them as an opportunity to get out of the house that they're in, that maybe they're abused or maybe there's issues already there, or if they're out in the street already, this was a way for them to gain money, to gain belongings. So we were able to work with the faith-based community, with this pastor specifically, to start to look at the homelessness issue specific to youth in our community, and look at the fact that a lot of them were couch hopping. A lot of them didn't have a formal place to stay, and so they were coming other ways around trying to work through that process. And when we really started looking at it, we were able to work not only with this church but other churches within our community to get houses, some kind of almost like a foster care or an immediate place for these youth to stay in the meantime until we could figure out what the necessity was for them. And with that, we got the mayor on board, city council on board, and then a lot of the other agencies that worked with homelessness, because we lacked youth homeless shelters within the metro area altogether. We were able to come up with a concept of a new youth homeless shelter that we placed within our community specifically. And so it serves now the northwest suburbs of Minneapolis and St. Paul, and we're able to, all those suburban youth that don't have a place to stay, we're able to get them into either an emergency bed at this homeless shelter or a long-term bed, which will then work them into some long-term housing beyond that. And this was all based on some police work that we had done, figuring out how to get youth out of sex trafficking, first off, but also in collaboration with our faith-based community, figuring out that they had the connections to a lot of the families directly within our community to provide some immediate services, as well as the long-term in working with our mayor and working with our city council to change those policies and procedures within our area and develop, whether it's to gain money, whether it's to develop new procedures in where our youth can go, or new facilities where our youth can go, and bringing them into the community specifically. So collaboration it's the best way to go. It makes policing possible. It makes really helping the community and doing the desire of all the police to help their community. It completes that mission in the long run.